All right, ladies and gents, we're making cakes till we reach 200. Let's go.
Oh my god, no one saw that, right? No, what was I supposed to see? Frosting. Oh, I gotta make a fruit frosting. I'm sorry, I forgot. Sorry, my bad. When I booted my PC this time, my PC said I need to update my drivers. Guess what? I can oh my gosh! Coupon!
I feel so good.
Let's go! Well, that's exciting. Heck yeah! Coupon's live. Coupon, you want to come over?
Let's see. 226.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Do we have any gifts we can give people? Anybody need anything?
Oh no, it's
Everybody's
fine.
asleep at this
You can go
hour.
back. You good, you good. Whee! Coupon's back! Still broke my laptop, not getting update drive messages on that. You can always, I think if you go into, where is it? Like into your Windows settings. Let me see. I think if you just type update into, so yeah, if you type update into the Windows search bar, you can do check for system updates and that sometimes will pop them up. Where'd you get the rock walls? I think that's from Tish's shop. Are you pointing at me? Oh, Master, I'm sorry. That was my bad again. You right. Multitasking. Here, I'll just do it right away. Okay, now I won't forget. But it's weird, this only happened after I plugged my headphones into my laptop. They're not connected. The whys of PCs I don't understand.
We're very close to level 200 here, guys. I think cooking is definitely my highest skill. Second is probably, yeah, as I suspected. Second is definitely fishing. Fishing's actually very close to 64. I'm tempted to go outside and fish a little bit, actually.
And then after the cake
Wrong
party, I'll
thing.
go get my Bahari piles.
Go out real quick.
How many
and
cakes have we
cast a
made? Have
line.
we been keeping track? 3 plus 30 is 33. Divided by 3 is 30. No, it's 3. I don't know, it's 10. 3 times 10 is 33. Just kidding, 3 times 11. 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 11 is 33. You have 99 cakes? So we've done 90
Very close to
something
64
cakes?
fishing.
93 cakes? Is that how math works? If you have 99 cakes, and you get 3 cakes per...
Here we go, baby. 64. Like Nintendo.
Then you would divide by 3.
64 fishing. And let's go
33,
back in
not
and make
93.
another
I'm
cake.
an artist for a living, if you couldn't tell. I draw pictures, okay? I do not math. The only math I know how to do in my head is how to give a 20% tip at a restaurant. And that's because you just double it and move the decimal point. Really? Oh, sounds good, Say. It's really good to see you, by the way. Can we get a shout out for Sayless? Please and thank you. I was going to buy cakes and not stuff. Oh.
I don't know how many of these we
okay,
actually do.
So, I worked in movies for 2 or 3 years. And then I worked at a print company that makes business cards and postcards and greeting cards. And I was their artwork specialist. So anytime there was like a problem with the printer, there was something called a rip failure. And so I would have to go into the files and figure out what's wrong and why the printer wasn't working with the file properly. And then I would go in and adjust customer artwork without them, like, knowing, because then it would be a huge hassle to, like, be like, hey, your files broke our printer. We need you to change all these settings. So I would just go in and change all the settings and stuff. How did you end up with your movie job? That seems like a job people work towards. Okay, so I went to school for graphic design.
Learning a lot about Corey right now.
And I took some classes in motion graphic design, and I loved motion graphics, and I also just had a very high interest in video editing in general. So when I went to do my internship in college, I reached out to this place to be a motion graphic designer, and they said, no, we're not hiring any interns. And so I was devastated, because that was the one that got recommended to me by my school. So the one that the school recommended, I got rejected from. And so then I talked to my professor about it, and she's like, I know a guy. So she writes down this email and this name out of the top of her head in this company and says, reach out to him and see if they have any motion graphic design positions. And it was in Boston.
The Cloud
I don't know Boston, but I guess so, because I would have to take a 2-hour train ride. So I ended up reaching out to the guy. He's like, yeah, come in for an interview, an internship interview. We'd be happy to have you. And we have, you know, training programs and stuff for motion graphic design specifically. So I took a 2-hour train ride to Boston, and I walked like 20 minutes from the train station. I brought a whole portfolio. And I go to my internship, and he invites me in. I'm sitting on this, like, really low couch because he's in a meeting for, like, 20 minutes. And then I get into the interview, and he's like, so what you got here? And I was like, oh, here's my portfolio. And he's like, he, like, glances over it, and he's like, okay. I actually gotta go pick up my kids in 10. Like, I gotta be there to pick up my kids in 10 minutes, so, you know, you can head back, and we'll give you a call if we look over everything and see if it's good. And I'm like, oh my god, I fudged it so bad. Because he did not, I swear to god, it was only like 10 minutes maximum, that interview. Well, I was so stressed and so exhausted and so anxious because it was my first time on a train to Boston by myself. It was the first time taking the Boston subway by myself. It was the first time doing an interview like that by myself. You know, like, it was kind of crazy. And I passed out on the train ride home. And then I got a call from the office manager, and she's like, yeah, you can start during whatever. And if you're good for it. And I was like, oh my god, I got my internship. And I was just so relieved. Are we missing something? What's going on here? Oh, okay. And, yeah, so I got my internship at this company. And I was learning stuff, and I, like, worked on a project on my own. They're like, yeah, just work on whatever. So basically my duties were to make coffee in the morning, to empty the pot at night, like it was a huge coffee thing, to do any dishes and go around and like pick up stuff around the office, like typical. I would run like big drives full of like files from one company to another, or go pick up lunch around Boston and bring it back to the office. Like, it was very mundane stuff, but they had all these courses, like online courses basically, that I could take and learn from. So I learned how to do like 3D modeling a little bit. I learned how to do compositing, and eventually they just like hired me because they liked what I was doing for my own personal projects that I showed off at the end of the internship. And that was my first job out of college, was working, and they primarily worked on commercials when I first joined them, and it wasn't until like a year or so that they were really getting into movies. So, and I actually didn't even want to work on movies. I was like happy working on like Subway commercials. You know, like just doing the simple graphic stuff, or like making ring beams for like stadiums of soccer fields or whatever, or animated carnival billboards. Like, that was the stuff I like doing. It's just making random animation stuff for like advertisements. And then when we got put on movies, I was like, this sucks. Because then it was like mandatory like 12-hour work days, 6 days a week. You don't get a raise. The best thing they do for you is bring you lunch on Fridays or offer you to do your laundry. Yeah, it sucked real bad. So I was like, forget that, and I bounced. And then I just like worked for this like print company, which I've never done print before, and they're like, yeah, you need to do these rip failures, and basically you have to check the file and see what's wrong with this for the printer to work. You can figure that out, right? And I was like, yeah, I can totally do that, no problem. So 1 minute break, yeah, no worries, we can take a break. So it was trial by fire. Yeah, that's basically what I did. I Googled stuff, and it was trial and error the entire time. Because they're like, you know print, right? Like, do you know the difference between RGB and CMYK? I'm like, yeah, that's basic design knowledge in my head. But I was like, oh yeah. And then, what we make during the break. Here you go. But the amount of like random stuff that I had to learn just on the fly was ridiculous.
Ooh,
I mean, that's with
before.
any job too.
Sick.
As long as you have the ability to Google something, you could probably figure out how to do stuff in a matter of like however long. I even do that for my current job. Like, I'm like, I want to make this effect and I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna Google watching these Photoshop tutorials to figure out how to get this effect, and I do that all the time. No worries at all, Key. I think people are just making Mujin Bahari for funsies. Not in my office. I don't get free lunch except once a year. Hi, Spooter. Yeah, I'm doing good. We're doing cake party. Yeah, the big thing about a lot of workplaces, at least in the US, is they don't care how you get it done as long as you get it done. So...
Let's go.
I mean, one of my friends, he has a degree in philosophy, and he does coding because he likes it. He just did it for fun and then got a job and then just like basically like learned by trial by fire. His motto, he told me, is like fake it till you make it, and he lives by that. And it works out for him, so I'm like, alright, well. Hi, Crack My Back! It's going good! Oh, I'm happy to show you. So, cake parties, I actually have a chart. I became a crane operator with my previous job being doggy daycare, see? And a lot of times they'll train you on stuff, too. Let me see if I can find my cake. My cake, here it is. My cake party list. What are we waiting on over here? What do we gotta do? Oh, we need another one of those rolly things. We need one of these rolly boys. Aww.
Let's go.
Okay. So...
Cooking level 200. Alright, ladies and
you go.
gents, I think we ended there. Corey told us a crazy story about her
Ta-da!
life.
So here's my chart.
We hit level
You want I
64
fix the
fishing.
chart?
We also level 200 cooking.
So basically the way
Not sure where else I
cake
can go
parties
from
work
here.
is
So
you
I'm gonna
have
end it here, guys.
17
I'll see you guys next
people,
time.
each do
Until
all.
then,
Make sure I-
goodbye.
I'll get this one started. Yoink.